Indians and D-backs. Dylan, maybe my favorite young player in the game, Francisco Lindor.
Oh boy, he's making a lot of fans quick. Not just you, Dave, because with what he did last year and then the start to this year, my gosh.
He's got 3 homers already.
He's on a tear.
He's on a pace for 10,286.
I think he only gets about 9,400, but we'll see. Maybe he keeps up with the pace.
Top 2, bases juice, Carlos Santana. Sweet music up the middle. Drives in 2. Cleveland's going to roll. They're up 3-zip. Wait a second.
Hold your horses now.
Bottom 5, Indians, that lead's been cut into. It's the Lumberjack! Goldie! Did he get it all? It's a big ballpark. It's a double. Drives in 2. D-backs come back with 4 unanswered. It's 4-3. They weren't done. Jake Lamb. You like this kid. Had a nice year quietly last year.
Yeah, I really like this kid. I think he can actually be the protection that the Diamondbacks need behind Paul Goldschmidt.
5-3 now after that knock by Lamb. Next batter is Yasmani Tomas. And that's going down the line, fair ball. Run for days, boys. Drives in another. Arizona's got their hitting shoes on. And they're rolling at this jug. No throw. 6-3. Brendan Drury. This is in the same inning. And Drury's going off them. And that's going to get down. That's going to roll to the wall. You can just trot on in. So Arizona, 4 straight hits with 2 outs. They score 5 in the frame, and they get the win, 7-3. You and I discussed this before the season started. I picked Arizona as my sleeper team in a very tough division.
Very tough.
Obviously, the Giants are off to a bad start. The Dodgers, we think, will be there. I like Arizona. It's not so much just because you're expecting better things out of a healthy A.J. Pollock and Goldschmidt to be Goldschmidt. It's Tony La Russa in the front office.
He's earned that sort of equity. He's
so
earned
I just
that
kind of
trust.
go blindly.
And usually it takes look. No one can just come right in and make magic happen. You know, whether it's Theo Epstein and Jed Hoyer taking half a decade to figure it out, even though that was no time at all to get things going right for Chicago. It's going to take time in the desert. And I think La Russa's kind of surveyed what the problems are, figured them out. Look, they threw some money at the problems they had last year. It just didn't exactly work out with Greinke having a little bit of a hiccup year. Pollock getting hurt. Shelby Miller not exactly performing up to snuff. 3-12 record last year, but Shelby was pretty good in this game.
Yes, he was.
And the reason I like your pick out of a sleeper to be a sleeper for the Diamondbacks, 4-1 so far this year. All of the games they've won, all 4 victories, they've come from behind.
It's impressive.
3 out of those 4, they were down at least 3 runs. That offense is never scared. They never feel like, oh, well, we're down 4 or 5. We're done. And that happened early here. You know, Tomlin was sharp. He was staked to a 3-0 lead. And then all of a sudden, one big inning, and they're able to get to Tomlin.
2 out hits.
And, Goldschmidt, of course, is in the middle of it. And Drury and Lamb and the rest of these guys. I like that pick. If they're not going to make a wild card spot or win the division, I don't think they'll win the division. But if they're not going to make a wild card spot, they'll compete and make it interesting in the West, as I think the Rockies might. I think this division may be 4 deep in terms of just interesting teams that could compete.
We always think the Central is the division, right? The Cardinals.
But the Pirates aren't there as much anymore.
It might be the West.
I think it's the West for the NL, and then the AL East that has 4 teams that can compete out there too. Those are the divisions that have the most intrigue to me.